The basketball world has seen its share of unexpected turns, stories that no one could predict, shifts that rewrote history, moments that changed everything in a single breath. Close your eyes now and drift into these wild twists of fate. The story begins in the spring of 2016 when the Golden State Warriors stood at the peak of basketball history. They had just completed the greatest regular season ever recorded, winning 73 games and losing only 9. The previous record had stood for 2 decades, and now it belonged to them. Stephen Curry had claimed his second consecutive Most Valuable Player award, becoming the first unanimous winner in league history. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green anchored a roster built for dominance. The Oracle Arena felt invincible, a fortress where dreams came to die. Across the country, the Cleveland Cavaliers prepared for their second consecutive finals appearance. LeBron James was making his 6th straight trip to the championship round, a testament to relentless excellence. But the previous year still haunted them. The Warriors had defeated Cleveland in 6 games during the 2015 finals, claiming their first championship in 40 years. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love had both suffered injuries that series, leaving LeBron to carry an impossible burden alone. Now, with a healthy roster, Cleveland returned seeking redemption. The finals opened at Oracle Arena, and Golden State reminded everyone why they were historic. They dominated Game 1, winning by 15 points. Game 2 followed the same pattern, another convincing victory. The series shifted to Cleveland for Games 3 and 4, and the Cavaliers needed to respond. They managed to win Game 3 at home, pulling one back. But Game 4 belonged to the Warriors again. Golden State won 108-97, taking a commanding 3-1 lead.
No team in NBA Finals history had ever recovered from a 3-1 deficit. The odds sat somewhere beyond calculation. The Warriors needed just one more victory. They would have 2 chances at home, where they had lost only 3 times all season. The basketball world began preparing championship parades in Oakland. Analysts debated whether Golden State would finish as the greatest team ever assembled. Cleveland's window seemed to be closing in real time. But something shifted in the hours after Game 4. Draymond Green had received a flagrant foul for contact with LeBron James during the game. The league reviewed the play and assessed Green a flagrant foul, which pushed his cumulative total past the threshold for automatic suspension. Green would miss Game 5. The Warriors' defensive anchor, their emotional leader, would watch from home while his team tried to close out the championship. In Cleveland's locker room, LeBron James gathered his team. Game 5 arrived at Oracle Arena. The Warriors still had Curry, Thompson, and home court advantage, but something fundamental had changed. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving both scored 41 points that night, becoming the first teammates in NBA history to each score at least 40 in the same finals game. The Cavaliers controlled the pace, weathered every run, and left Oakland with a victory. The series returned to Cleveland at 3-2. Golden State still held the lead, but doubt had entered the conversation. Game 6 unfolded at Quicken Loans Arena, where Cleveland's crowd created a wall of sound from opening tip to final buzzer. LeBron recorded 41 points again, adding 11 assists and 8 rebounds. The Cavaliers won convincingly, forcing a Game 7 back at Oracle Arena. The impossible had become merely improbable. One game would decide everything. The greatest regular season team in history against a championship determined to break a 52-year drought. June 19, 2016. Game 7. The Oracle Arena crowd arrived hoping to witness history, but uncertain which narrative would prevail. Both teams played with desperate intensity. Every possession felt monumental. The game remained close throughout, neither team able to build separation. The fourth quarter arrived with everything still unsettled. With less than 2 minutes remaining, the score stood tied at 89. Andre Iguodala pushed the ball in transition, attacking the basket with a clear path. But LeBron James, trailing the play, summoned something beyond physical capability. He elevated from behind, timing his leap perfectly, and pinned Iguodala's layup attempt against the glass. The block echoed through the arena, a defensive play that shifted momentum at the most crucial moment. Decades later, that chase-down block would define.
Moments later, with the game still tied, Kyrie Irving faced Stephen Curry at the top of the key, the shot clock winding down. Irving crossed over, stepped back, and released a three-pointer that found nothing but net. 92-89 Cleveland. The dagger, the shot that delivered a championship. Golden State couldn't respond. The final seconds expired with Cleveland ahead 93-89. LeBron James collapsed to the floor, overwhelmed by emotion. He had recorded 27 points, 11 assists, and 11 rebounds, becoming just the third player ever to record a triple-double in a Finals Game 7. The Cavaliers had completed the impossible comeback, becoming the first team to overcome a 3-1 deficit in NBA Finals history. Cleveland's championship drought ended that night. 52 years across all major professional sports leagues finally broken. Over 1 million people attended the championship parade 3 days later, flooding downtown Cleveland in a celebration that transcended basketball. LeBron James had fulfilled his promise to bring a championship home. The plot twist nobody believed possible had become beautiful reality.
Kevin Durant spent 9 seasons with the Oklahoma City Thunder franchise, building a legacy defined by excellence and heartbreak. He arrived as the second overall pick in the 2007 draft, a slender teenager with unlimited scoring ability. Durant developed into one of the game's most unstoppable offensive forces, averaging 27.4 points per game across his Thunder tenure. In 2014, he claimed the Most Valuable Player award, delivering an emotional speech that honored his mother's sacrifices. Durant and Russell Westbrook formed one of the most explosive duos in basketball. They reached the finals together in 2012, falling to LeBron James and the Miami Heat. That loss haunted them. The Thunder kept building, kept improving, waiting for another chance. The supporting cast around Durant and Westbrook included Steven Adams, Andre Roberson, and Enes Kanter, solid players but limited in shooting and spacing. The offense often devolved into isolation plays, relying on individual brilliance rather than collective flow. The 2016 Western Conference Finals matched Oklahoma City against the Golden State Warriors. Golden State had just completed their 73-win regular season. They were defending champions. They seemed destined for another title. But the Thunder came prepared for battle. Oklahoma City dominated the series early, building a 3-1 lead. One more victory would send them to the finals against Cleveland. Durant played brilliantly, reminding everyone of his championship potential.
Then everything collapsed. Golden State won Game 5 at Oracle Arena. The series returned to Oklahoma City for Game 6, where the Thunder held home court advantage with a chance to close. But the Warriors survived again, forcing Game 7 back in Oakland. The decisive game showcased Golden State's championship experience. They pulled away late, eliminating Oklahoma City and advancing to face Cleveland. The Thunder's season ended in crushing disappointment. Durant became an unrestricted free agent that summer. Multiple teams began preparing presentations. The Thunder felt confident about retaining their franchise cornerstone. But throughout the season, Warriors players had been recruiting Durant subtly. Conversations in passing during games and All-Star Weekend. After the season ended, Golden State's management and core players traveled to the Hamptons to meet with Durant. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Klay Thompson all attended, making their case. Durant met with 6 teams during free agency. The Thunder emphasized continuity and loyalty. The Boston Celtics offered a fresh start in the Eastern Conference. The Los Angeles Clippers pitched Southern California lifestyle. The Miami Heat highlighted.
The basketball world erupted. The reaction was swift and overwhelmingly negative. Fans burned Durant's jerseys in Oklahoma City. Social media exploded with criticism. Many felt Durant had taken the easy path, joining the team that had just eliminated him rather than continuing to compete against them. The phrase, "hardest road," became bitter sarcasm, mocking Durant's characterization of his choice. Former players questioned his competitive spirit. The narrative suggested Durant couldn't win a championship as the leader, so he joined an established dynasty as a supporting piece. Durant faced the criticism head-on at times, engaging with fans on social media, defending his decision. But the negativity clearly affected him. He later admitted to creating anonymous social media accounts to argue with critics, a revelation that only intensified the scrutiny. The debate consumed basketball discourse. Was Durant's decision smart or soft? Strategic or cowardly? The answer depended entirely on perspective. On the court, the results spoke clearly. The Warriors went 125 wins and 39 losses over the next 2 seasons. In the playoffs, they posted a 32-6 record, dominating every opponent. Durant fit perfectly into their system, his scoring ability complementing Curry's shooting and Green's playmaking. The offense became nearly impossible to defend. Pick your poison. Let Curry shoot threes, let Durant score one-on-one, or let Thompson catch fire.
The 2017 Finals matched Golden State against Cleveland for the third consecutive year. But this time, the Warriors had Durant. They won in 5 games, claiming the championship with ruthless efficiency. Durant earned Finals Most Valuable Player honors, averaging 35 points per game. The following year, the same matchup produced the same result. Golden State swept Cleveland in 4 games. Durant won Finals MVP again, cementing his championship credentials. But the debate never ended. Durant had won his championships, validated his decision from a basketball standpoint. Yet the criticism persisted. Many observers still questioned the path he chose. The Thunder, meanwhile, saw their championship window close. Russell Westbrook remained in Oklahoma City, eventually joined by Paul George, and then later traded away as the franchise rebuilt. Durant left Golden State for Brooklyn in 2019, seeking to establish his own legacy elsewhere. The plot twist of Durant joining Golden State remains one of the most controversial decisions in sports history. It delivered championships, but complicated his legacy. Some view it as shrewd strategy. Others see it as the moment competition gave way to convenience. The truth likely sits somewhere.
Kawhi Leonard built his early career in San Antonio, the perfect setting for a player who valued substance over flash. The Spurs selected him 15th overall in the 2011 draft, seeing potential beyond his modest college statistics. Leonard arrived quiet and focused, willing to learn from Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. He developed under coach Greg Popovich's demanding tutelage, becoming an elite defender before expanding his offensive game. The 2014 Finals matched San Antonio against LeBron James and the Miami Heat in a rematch of the previous year's championship. The Spurs had lost in devastating fashion in 2013, surrendering Game 6 after leading by 5 points with 28 seconds remaining. But the 2014 series belonged entirely to San Antonio. They played beautiful basketball, ball movement reaching artistic levels. Leonard guarded LeBron James with relentless effectiveness while scoring efficiently on the other end. The Spurs won the championship in 5 games. Leonard earned Finals Most Valuable Player honors at age 22, becoming one of the youngest ever to receive the award. Leonard continued improving. He made All-Star teams. He won Defensive Player of the Year awards. The Spurs remained contenders, reaching the conference finals in 2017. But during that series against Golden State, Leonard injured his ankle, landing on Zaza Pachulia's foot. The injury appeared relatively minor initially, just a sprained ankle. Leonard returned briefly before sitting out the remainder of the playoffs. San Antonio lost to the Warriors in 4 games.
The following season marked the beginning of a fracture that would reshape multiple franchises. Leonard felt discomfort in his quadriceps throughout the summer. The Spurs medical staff cleared him to play, but Leonard remained uncertain. In August of 2017, San Antonio granted Leonard permission to take over his entire rehabilitation process, an unusual concession. Leonard sought outside medical opinions, working with specialists away from the team. The 2017-18 season became defined by absence and speculation. Leonard played only 9 games before shutting down entirely. The Spurs kept winning without him, a testament to their depth and coaching. But tension grew between Leonard's camp and the organization. Reports suggested disagreement over injury diagnosis and treatment. The Spurs felt Leonard could play. Leonard felt the team was rushing him back before he was truly healthy. The relationship deteriorated throughout the spring. June of 2018 brought stunning reports. Kawhi Leonard had requested a trade from San Antonio, ending a partnership that had produced a championship and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. The request shocked the basketball world. The Spurs were stability personified, an organization that rarely dealt with drama. Leonard was quiet and professional, seemingly the ideal fit for San Antonio's culture. Yet here they were, unable to repair their fractured relationship.
Leonard's preferred destination was clear. He wanted to join the Los Angeles Lakers, playing for his hometown team alongside LeBron James. Magic Johnson and the Lakers front office pursued him aggressively, but the Spurs had no interest in helping Leonard reach his desired location. They would trade him, but on their terms, to a destination of their choosing. July 18, 2018, the Toronto Raptors completed a trade with San Antonio, acquiring Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a protected 2019 first-round pick. The move stunned everyone involved. DeMar DeRozan had become the face of the Raptors franchise, the longest-tenured player, beloved by fans and teammates. He learned of his trade late Tuesday night, expressing disappointment publicly about the organization's lack of communication. For Toronto, the trade represented an enormous gamble. Leonard had played only 9 games the previous season. His health remained uncertain. Reports indicated he had no intention of committing to Toronto long-term, still preferring Los Angeles. The Raptors were trading their franchise icon for potentially 1 season of an injured player who didn't want to be there. Toronto's front office, led by Masai Ujiri, decided the risk was worth the potential reward. The 2018-19 season began with skepticism.
In February, the Raptors made another significant move, acquiring Marc Gasol from Memphis. Gasol joined a starting lineup featuring Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and himself. The group formed a defensive juggernaut, switching everything, communicating perfectly, making offense difficult for every opponent. Toronto finished the regular season with 58 wins, second in the Eastern Conference. The playoffs tested Toronto's resolve immediately. They faced the Orlando Magic in the first round, falling behind 2-1 before recovering. The second round matched them against the Philadelphia 76ers,
a talented young team featuring Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. The series went 7 games, culminating in one of the most dramatic endings in playoff history. Game 7 in Toronto, the score tied at 92. Leonard received the ball in the corner with 4 seconds remaining. He dribbled once, rose up, and released a shot that bounced off the rim 4 times before falling through as time expired. The arena erupted. Leonard had delivered the knockout blow with a shot that defied physics. The conference finals brought the Milwaukee Bucks, the league's best regular season team led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee won the first 2 games at home, appearing ready to end Toronto's season. But the Raptors responded with 4 consecutive victories, advancing to the finals for the first time in franchise history. Leonard averaged 30 points.
The finals matched Toronto against Golden State, the dynasty seeking their 3rd consecutive championship. But the Warriors weren't at full strength. Kevin Durant had suffered a calf injury in the conference finals. Klay Thompson dealt with a hamstring injury. The series opened in Toronto, where the Raptors claimed Game 1. Golden State won Game 2 behind a brilliant performance from Klay Thompson. But as the series progressed, Toronto's depth and health advantages became apparent. Game 5 arrived at Scotiabank Arena, with Toronto leading 3-1. Durant attempted to return from his injury, but suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon after playing only 12 minutes. Thompson tore his anterior cruciate ligament later in the same game. The Warriors fought valiantly despite the injuries, but couldn't overcome the circumstances. Toronto won 114-110, claiming the championship. Leonard earned Finals Most Valuable Player honors, averaging 28.5 points per game through the series. Toronto celebrated its first NBA championship, the first title won by a Canadian franchise. Leonard had delivered exactly what the Raptors had gambled on, validating Ujiri's bold decision to trade DeRozan. The parade drew millions to the streets of Toronto, a citywide celebration of historic proportions.
But the celebration carried an expiration date. Leonard became a free agent that summer, and his intentions remained unchanged. In July of 2019, he signed a 3-year, $103 million contract with the Los Angeles Clippers, his hometown team. The Clippers also acquired Paul George from Oklahoma City in a separate trade, creating a new championship contender. Leonard left Toronto after one perfect season. The Raptors received exactly what they traded for: 1 year of peak Leonard, 1 championship, and a place in history. The gamble paid off in the most complete way possible. Toronto fans still revere Leonard, grateful for the title despite his brief tenure. San Antonio received assets that continued generating value through subsequent trades years later. And Leonard reached his desired destination as a championship finals MVP rather than as the player who couldn't stay healthy in San Antonio. The plot twist benefited everyone eventually, a rare occurrence when superstar trades fracture established relationships. In the stillness of night, Toronto fans remember that perfect season, the year everything aligned, the gamble that delivered glory. Jeremy Lin grew up in San Francisco Bay Area, the son of Taiwanese immigrants. He developed his
Lin signed with his hometown Golden State Warriors as an undrafted free agent. He spent most of his rookie season bouncing between the NBA roster and the development league, playing limited minutes when active. The Warriors waived him after the lockout-shortened 2011-12 season began. The Houston Rockets claimed him off waivers, only to cut him 2 weeks later without giving him a real opportunity. Lin was sleeping on his brother's couch in New York, uncertain about his basketball future. The New York Knicks signed Lin on December 27, 2011. The contract was not guaranteed, meaning the team could release him without financial penalty. Lin sat at the end of the bench, playing sporadic garbage time minutes. By early February, he had logged only 55 minutes the entire season. The Knicks were struggling badly, having lost 11 of their previous 13 games. Star forward Carmelo Anthony had injured his groin. Point guard Baron Davis was recovering from a back injury. The roster was depleted, the season spiraling toward disappointment. February 4, 2012. The Knicks hosted the New Jersey Nets at Madison Square Garden. Down to limited options, coach Mike D'Antoni gave Lin meaningful playing time. Lin responded by playing 36 minutes, showcasing court vision and scoring ability that had gone unnoticed. He finished with 25 points and 7 assists in a New York victory. The performance seemed like a fluke, one good game from a desperate roster. But Lin started the next game against the Utah Jazz. He scored 28 points and dished 8 assists. The Knicks won again. The basketball world began paying attention. Lin started a third consecutive game, scoring 23 points against the Washington Wizards. New York won again. 3 games, 3 victories, Lin thriving in D'Antoni's up-tempo system. The winning streak continued. Game after game, Lin delivered performances that seemed impossible given his background. February 10th arrived with the Los Angeles Lakers visiting Madison Square Garden. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers represented NBA royalty, while Lin remained an unknown point guard on a 10-day contract. But that night belonged to Jeremy Lin. He scored 38 points, outdueling Kobe Bryant in front of a delirious home crowd. The game winner came on a three-pointer from the top of the key with less than 1 second remaining. Madison Square Garden erupted in a celebration that transcended basketball. Lin had become something beyond a feel-good story. He had become a phenomenon. The winning streak reached 7 games. Lin was scoring at least 20 points in 9 of 10 games during the stretch. By the end of February, the Knicks had climbed to 18 wins and 18 losses after starting 8-15. Lin was averaging 22.3 points and 9 assists over his 13-game run. He appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the headline, "Against All Odds." NBA Commissioner David Stern commented that no player had created this level of interest in frenzy in such a short period, in any sport that he was aware of.
The cultural impact extended far beyond basketball. Jeremy Lin was the first American player of Chinese or Taiwanese descent in the NBA. His success resonated deeply within the Asian American community, a breakthrough moment of representation in professional sports. The term Linsanity emerged to describe the phenomenon,
a nickname that captured both his name and the madness surrounding his rise. Market capitalization of Madison Square Garden Company rose by $250 million in February, reaching $600 million by July of 2012. Lin's jersey became the top seller in the league. His games drew massive television audiences in Asia. But the fairy tale contained an expiration date. Carmelo Anthony returned from injury, and the offense shifted back toward isolation plays that favored Anthony's style. Lin's usage decreased. The team went 2 wins and 6 losses over an 8-game stretch, leading coach Mike D'Antoni to resign. The system that had unleashed Linsanity was replaced by a more traditional approach. On March 31st, the Knicks announced Lin would undergo surgery to repair a torn meniscus in his left knee. His season ended with the injury. During the summer, Houston offered Lin a 3-year, $25 million contract. The Knicks had the right to match the offer, but declined, allowing Lin to leave. The business decision made financial sense, but disappointed fans who had witnessed the magic.
Lin returned to Houston, but circumstances had changed. Just days before the season started, the Rockets traded for James Harden, acquiring a franchise cornerstone who dominated the ball. Lin was relegated to a supporting role, his opportunities limited. He never recaptured the heights of those February weeks in New York. Over the following years, Lin played for 8 different NBA teams, bouncing around the league as a backup point guard. He won a championship with Toronto in 2019, though he played limited minutes in the playoffs. Lin later admitted he had a hostile relationship with the word Linsanity for the first few years after that February run. The phenomenon had defined him in ways both beautiful and burdensome. Meeting those impossible expectations every night was never realistic, but eventually Lin made peace with his story. He had lived something unprecedented, a moment where an undrafted player sleeping on a couch became the most famous athlete in the world for 2 weeks. The plot twist of Linsanity remains one of the most improbable and culturally significant stories in sports history. It proved that magic can emerge from nowhere, that talent and opportunity sometimes align in ways that defy logic, and that even brief moments of transcendence can leave permanent impact. 4 stories, 4 impossible turns, a comeback no one believed in, a decision that shook the league, a gamble that delivered glory, and a player who defied every odd. In the NBA, the wildest plot twists become the most unforgettable legends. Rest well. Lin returned to Houston, but circumstances had changed. Just days before the season started, the Rockets traded for James Harden, acquiring a franchise cornerstone who dominated the ball. Lin was relegated to a supporting role, his opportunities limited. He never recaptured the heights of those February weeks in New York. Over the following years, Lin played for 8 different NBA teams, bouncing around the league as a backup point guard. He won a championship with Toronto in 2019, though he played limited minutes in the playoffs.
Lin later admitted he had a hostile relationship with the word Linsanity for the first few years after that February run. The phenomenon had defined him in ways both beautiful and burdensome. Meeting those impossible expectations every night was never realistic, but eventually Lin made peace with his story. He had lived something unprecedented, a moment where an undrafted player sleeping on a couch became the most famous athlete in the world for 2 weeks. The plot twist of Linsanity remains one of the most improbable and culturally significant stories in sports history. It proved that magic can emerge from nowhere, that talent and opportunity sometimes align in ways that defy logic, and that even brief moments of transcendence can leave permanent impact. 4 stories, 4 impossible turns, a comeback no one believed in, a decision that shook the league, a gamble that delivered glory, and a player who defied every odd. In the NBA, the wildest plot twists become the most unforgettable legends. Rest well,